What's up, Scorpio babes? You sexy, sexy Scorpios. Welcome to my channel, The Intuitive Teacup. All right, guys, I just did 3 rounds of love videos, which for me is a lot. So please check all those out. You have 3 videos that are still good for the coming weeks or months. Really, there's no timestamp on most of my videos. But anyway, career and finances. Here we go. We're going to do some money, career, finances, jobs, internships. Lord help me, right? With this pandemic, a lot of question marks, a lot of unknowns. But I had someone reach out to me asking when those would be posted. So I was like, all right, if that's what the people want, ask and you shall receive. King of Swords coming out. All right, so making executive decisions, the power player. Some of you may be talking to your father or going to your father for. I mean, it could be for money, but I'm more getting from this. Asking his permission for something, or you might even be collaborating. This is a funny message, but you might be collaborating with your dad on, like, maybe it's like a family business or something like that. All right. Anyways, my general spiel. Sorry, I want to hop into your reading already. By the way, I'm using Zombie Tarot, which I never ever use, but I don't know. I just kind of felt compelled to use it, and I feel like for you Scorpios, it's just fitting, right? You are the death card, all of that transformation, and zombies are just another stage of life. Am I right? All right. Anyway, you guys know my spiel. These are general messages here on YouTube. Not everything I say will resonate. Come into this reading with an open heart and an open mind, but ultimately it's up to you what messages you're going to choose to take away. You will always be in the driver's seat of your own life. You have free will. I'm just a tarot reader on YouTube, right? So take what resonates, drop the rest, and give these messages time to resonate too. Not everything will click instantly. One more card for Scorpio and we'll hop in. Everything else you want to know will be in the description box below. Check that out if you are interested. And we're going to hop in. All right, so bottom of your deck is the Tower. I just heard like rock and roll, like with amps when they're just like, duh! I heard that, the Tower. So maybe some musicians out there. Yeah, particularly if you're in a band, you're fighting. There's a lot of tension amongst, and even maybe if it's not a musical group, there's tension among the group. So if you're in some sort of group project, yeah, I just heard you're duking it out. So I don't know, maybe there's some egos involved. Maybe there's some wounded egos, or just like there's some tempers flying here and there, if that makes sense for anyone. But particularly if you work like an office job, right? Like look at that building. It's very corporate, very executive, right? Yeah, and I mean, with the Tower, frequently it's a card of like illumination to something that can be kind of like life-changing or shocking or not always anticipated, right? Sometimes this is like the holy shit card. Other times, I mean, it is Mars energy, so it can be a scorpionic energy too. I'm getting more just like tempers, like lightning bolts, and again, kind of like that, like, I don't know if sassy is even the right term. I think sassy would be putting it mildly, but ego trips. I got to be honest, even if it's not with you, it's affecting you. It's affecting the space you work in. So, okay, you know what this could also be for those who are working from home, right? Quarantine. It could be that your family is driving you nuts. I could absolutely see that. And like you, Scorpio, you're just trying to like slink away and stay out of it. But I'm almost getting they're pulling you back in. But I would not test a Scorpio, right? Because it's like you're going to come in and crush it, right? What a funny message that is. But anyway, love it. Okay, let's hop into your actual reading here. So, all right, you have a lot of people coming up. All right, so you have the King of Swords, you have the Queen of Wands, and the Queen of Swords. So 2 queens, 1 king. Let's see here. Defending your land or your property, has that been up for negotiation? Or maybe you're seeking a new property deal. Are you a realtor, or something about home rentals? Particularly something about summer, this is random, but like summer cabins. So like, I guess vacation places, but I'm getting more like in the woods. There's very much like kind of lumberjack, backwood, kind of, I don't know what you would call it, but like very much in the South too. I'm hearing like a little Southern accent there too. The deep South. Anyway, all right. And then some of you are nurses and you're absolutely exhausted. How do these two connect here? So that could be like there could be a husband and wife type deal here, Scorpio. Whether you're the male or the female, it could be that your person works in either a medical field or the medical profession, or it could be that, or it could just be someone in your life. It doesn't even have to be your husband or wife or whatever. It could be one of your family members that works for like in a hospital or something. And obviously, given the situation that's going on globally, they're really burnt out and you're thinking about them. Oh, but I am getting, I don't even want to deliver these messages because it just, But it's almost like you're having to quarantine from someone you love. So again, don't make it your story if it's not, but I don't love that. I don't know why I'm being told these messages because Spirit, I'm not here to tell us about quarantine. But anyway, how is this affecting your job though? So then you have the Eight of Pentacles. Some of you work in some sort of scientific field and interesting. Something about like finding a cure for something. I don't necessarily think it's corona, right? I mean, hey, I hope so. Like, I hope that's you, Scorpio. Yeah, but it might be that you're doing like lab tests or lab results, particularly maybe on like testing it on like an animal. And I don't even know how I feel about delivering that message. Again, not taking a political stance here at all, but yeah, something about doing some sort of laboratory experiment or testing some new product out. But I'm getting like though before it's released to the public, sort of. Some sort of these are such like hyped up messages, but I was gonna say something like a miracle drug or something that it would be quite life changing. And I guess I'm saying that in a sense, it would make sense to me because just the nature of the scorpionic energy, it's all about that changing of cycle and transformation. And yeah, it's something about this would change the lives of some people, or it would change the circumstances of some people. And even if it's not medical, it could be something like cosmetic, but I'm sort of getting like it's like a chemical process that some of you are testing. And I mean, maybe that whole thing is a metaphor for something else, because obviously we're not all scientists working in a lab, with our beakers and all that kind of experiment stuff. But then some of you have great spiritual gifts and you're able to communicate with those who have passed, like those who have passed on, like the other world, so to say. Some of you help people emotionally cope and prepare for tragedy or it doesn't even have to be tragedy, but life-changing or altering events. Scorpio, I'm getting these like insanely heavy messages for you off the bat. God, maybe it's zombie tarot. No, but something about easing people's minds, like a therapist. There's something very therapeutic about your energy, and maybe some of you may work as counselors or people struggling with, or how you train people on how to cope with their own grief, their sorrow, their depression, losing ones that they love, things of that sort. And it might actually be something that your father was very astute to or in tune with. It might have been like a family gift or like a spiritual gift that was passed down to you. And even if it's not communing with like the dead, right? Because that's not for everybody. There is a sense of like energies and spirits around you that in a good way. You don't need to be scared. They're guiding you and watching you. And they are trying to communicate with you. Again, this is not something you need to fear or be worried about. I think spirit and energies, particularly those of like our family, like past ones, deceased ones, there's like an intuitive understanding that if you're not ready to see those sort of like miracles, they're going to hold off. It's not spirit's intent to really like freak you out and scare the living daylights out of you. It just doesn't work that way. And I will say, unless it's almost like a warning that is meant to raise something to your attention, that it's like a do not proceed. It's almost like you get a vision of like, your father or someone being like, don't get in the car, it's not safe. Something like that might sort of scare you. But again, it's not like you're just going to open a closet door and there's going to be a spirit like, hey, Scorpio, like it's not that type of energy. And I'm just saying that to put you guys at ease. But you of all signs, Scorpio, I feel like you would kind of be into this whole like, other spirits around you communicating. I know you guys are like, what the hell does this have to do with my career? I'm only relaying the messages that are coming to me. So this feels so much deeper. This feels like you guys haven't quite you haven't quite gotten the pulse on what it is that you're meant to do. I'm almost getting, because I've thrown out so many careers and so many kind of like random messages, I almost take that to mean that you have like a collective history of many, like toiling with many different things and many different people. And you know, again, transformation, the idea of reinventing yourself. You may have done this for a little while, like the whole realtor thing. You may have gone to school for nursing and decided it wasn't your thing, or you know what I mean? There's something about what's leading you to this point is some sort of spiritual healing, or especially if you work in the medical field, because we talked about the idea of like a chemist or a nurse or something. It's like it's almost like you're getting warmer. You just haven't realized that your medicinal career, it's more in terms of spirituality is sort of what I'm getting. It's not so much, you know, tinkering in a lab or necessarily being like at a bedside with a patient. I keep getting something very important about a father figure in your life. And it could just be a paternal figure if it's not by blood. It could be an uncle, it could be something, a grandfather even. A grandfather who is very in tune with nature. It's being presented as King of Swords, but I'm getting fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sag. The reason it's being communicated with the King of Swords is because this person was a communicator of spirits, and even, this is kind of funny, even with the animals, and as I'm saying that, I'm thinking like Dr. Dolittle, but it was something very cute. I'm being called to say Sagittarius for a lot of you, or even a Gemini. They were a master of communication, but it wasn't just communication with those here on Earth. It had to do with something more, something otherworldly. I don't know how else to say it. They were a spiritual healer, and they may have even had, like, I do almost want to say like a secret gift, right? It probably wasn't apparent knowledge to everyone that they had this gift, but they also may have had like a little side. It's not even really a side hustle. It was much more informal. Thank you. It was much more informal, that it was almost like every now and then, maybe during your childhood, people would show up to the house and like it's almost like this person would perform like a spiritual blessing on them, or help, even if it wasn't like psychic tarot reading or whatever, though for some of you it absolutely was. Even if it wasn't that, it was something about just being around, I keep wanting to say a paternal or more masculine energy. Maybe it was an air sign, but they just exerted more masculine type energy. There was something about being around them. They communicated something very important to people who were lost on their spiritual journey. And some of you are struggling with the loss of that parent in your life, or even if it's not that parent, even if it's you've lost your child, you know, God forbid, and I'm not predicting this by any means, but if you've lost someone in your life that you're very close to and you're really struggling to get over that, and you've potentially been working at it for years, you're not understanding that it's almost a wake-up call to get you to understand that you have these same gifts where you must intuitively sense these energies around you. I know some of you do. It's a very beautiful message, but it's very heavy, and I'm sorry I'm not throwing messages at you that are like, you're gonna get this job and that. It's just somebody needs to hear this, so I'm just gonna roll with it, guys. If you have a lack of closure emotionally with someone who is no longer in the 3D, this is work that you are destined to do, because there's going to be some sort of illumination. This could be this too. Something you're grappling with. It has to do with the space you're in. It's like electrically charged with spirituality and energies around you. And there's something about, bear with me here, I know this is an unusual way of phrasing it. This can sometimes be an internal battle or an internal struggle. There's the desire to just get out of it, right? To push all that unsettled energy and emotional baggage beside. That idea of they're pulling you back, it's almost, rather than running from the problem or not, it's almost like a need to be vulnerable and kind of strip yourself down. I say that frequently with the tower, and get to like the bare bones of it, the raw emotion of maybe past sorrows that you never truly dealt with. there's like a dawning of a new day, and this idea of being pulled back into it, it's spirit or God trying to direct you to, I just keep wanting to say, communicate with someone who has passed in order to provide yourself some sort of emotional healing, or recognize that that is a gift that you have that you are meant to provide to others, Scorpio. Yeah, but you are carrying around a lot of, I am just getting like heaviness in your heart. And maybe you just haven't spent enough time with yourself or in some sort of spiritual state to really tap into why you're still feeling that or experiencing it. There's a desire to just run away from it because maybe for some of you it's too much to deal with. It's too heavy. Maybe it provokes a lot of tears and a lot of emotions when you have to go back in your memory to some time or some almost tragedy that occurred in your life. But spirit is like encouraging you to do that because you don't even understand the amount of emotional healing that will come from it. Very interesting. All right, so then let's hop into this other segment here. So you have a King of Swords and a Queen of Swords. So a divine pairing only by their element. That really has nothing to do with gender for me, right? I think you guys know that at this point. Yeah, there's a part of you that's very guarded. And it's something about you don't want to feel trapped. Something about if you open up your emotions to someone, it's something like they've trapped you. You want freedom. I am being called to say some of you may be Scorpio, Sag, Cuspers. That's sort of coming up for me here. Although this is a Libra card, so I mean it could go either way. It could be Libra, Scorpio, whatever. You guys know. Some of you want to pursue something in clothing or costume design, or something about branding and marketing, particularly on like food products, or I mean, I guess it doesn't have to be food, but maybe working with some sort of company like a grocery store, something about like the visual marketing, the logos, the texting, the lettering. Some of you are really good at Photoshop and you don't realize that's actually something you could be making money on. But it's for some of you, it's work that you've actually been doing throughout the years. You just, again, it's like stepping into your gift, even if it's not a career in faith or spirituality. This is saying to me, it's existed within you the whole time. It's trying to get it alive in you to recognize that it's work that could carry you into the future, like long-term legacy. Some of you, I don't know how to say it, and I do mean this in like a gentle way, but some of you have like daddy issues. That might be the thing. This person who is like a spiritual healer in your life, you may have had a troubled relationship with them, and so you're very disinterested in pursuing anything like mending of the relationship, even if they haven't passed, even if they're still alive. Again, a very masculine figure in your life. You have a lot of, what is the term? Resentment towards this person. And you keep them very much at a distance. There may have been very bad blood between you, a lot of like arguments. Yeah, you have a lot of fives. You have the Five of Swords and the Five of Wands. And then, yeah, something about the Seven of Wands coming up here. You felt like this person always put you down or always was very critical of you. This could have also been a Libra mother, though it doesn't have to be. But your defenses are up with that person. You've labeled them as like a hazard in your life, and so you avoid them as much as you possibly can. But I am getting they're probably in your family. This person wants to reconcile with you. This person wants to bury the hatchet. This person wants to what do you call that? Bridge the gap. Again, whether they are alive or deceased, spiritually they're looking for some sort of reconciliation, or the opposite in real life. It's being presented as pentacles. So to me it says they want to build upon this relationship. They want to get over that awkward hurdle between you guys and come together in peace. Again, this whole thing about conflict and fight, it could all be happening to you internally, Scorpio. To me, there's like this really beautiful metaphor going on here of like shedding your skin, almost like a snake, or even, the butterfly metaphor from, the caterpillar to the cocoon to the butterfly. It seems like a lot of you are kind of stuck in that cocoon, and because it's safe, it's familiar, it's cozy, it's like where you fit in your life and where others fit, but there's something about you're being called out with the Hierophant. you're being called to make some sort of important decision in your life path regarding your career. And for a lot of you, it's something maybe you've had intuitive hits about, but I'm not getting really a lot of wands. And to me, that's saying it's something about you haven't really taken much action to get this career up and running, or to even really consider it as some sort of inspiration to the way you earn a living, if that makes any sense. Some of you may be collaborating with a Taurus, and that is your natural counterpart, the Hierophant. Like Taurus and Scorpio, typically a lot of great friendships. Taurus and Scorpio could also be your husband or wife with the Lovers card coming in. I suppose it could be a best friend, but there's something about a Taurus. Not only is there an electric spark in terms of the creativity, the back and forth you guys have, there's also something that could potentially lead to love and a relationship, a marriage contract and a 10 of Cups. Yeah, again, not here to do love and romance readings, but for my single Scorpios out there, something with a Taurus, a Gemini, or a Libra is looking real good. You have a couple cards of Libra here. There's an essential or key figure in your life that awakens you to something. It's some sort of spiritual calling. And they are, in a sense, like an earth angel. Like, they're real. They're not a ghost. They're not a spirit. But it's something about they help you to usher in this new cycle, this new chapter in your life that is very much just like drenched in spirituality and something of that sort. This may end up being a person that you not only collaborate with on a project or on your business, it's also something about the divine timing of your paths crossing. It may end up transforming into a long-term relationship, particularly like a marriage contract. You guys may have even been on a vacation together, or if there was like a business, like a company trip. And I don't necessarily know if I'm getting so many messages, I don't know what to focus on. This may have been like a company, what do you call it? Like, I guess like a business trip. I don't know what that would have been, where it ended up being the two of you or you guys in a group of coworkers, but you guys ended up mingling and bonding quite quickly. This could be someone from years ago too. Something about that, it might revisit you, and it's something about them. The idea of them coming back into your life, it tips the scales in a really beautiful way. That's what I mean. It's like the much needed change that is trying so hard to make its way into your life. This person helps usher it in, and it's like a domino effect. It's like one leads to the other. So either there's some sort of good idea they help support you in regarding your work, and that happens, or it could be the opposite. This person comes in and there's a little like romantic, crushy, feely, kind of like, flirting and giggling type stuff. That turns into a relationship, and then the domino effect is that something of being around their energy, maybe it's some sort of spiritual awakening in you to heal the friendships and connections in your own life, in your own family with an ex. Yeah, there's something really beautiful about the back and forth of this person, who I do want to say comes in with a romantic offer. Something about candy. Did they give you candy once? Did they give you chocolates, or maybe something about Valentine's Day? Something about, like, I'm getting all these Valentine's Day metaphors, like roses and chocolate and like sexy lingerie and like cute little like Valentine messages. The last name Valentine, maybe for some of you. This person may be a judge or work in like the judiciary system, or it could just indicate a marriage contract. If it's not that, because I don't think for most of you, it's probably not that they're a judge. There could have been a major court case in their life that maybe impacted their finance, or they may be getting out of a marriage contract in which this person is coming into you. It could also be like a soulmate contract, but it was more of like a karmic partnership versus like the long term. Because it's something about there's a new contract that ushers in the 10 of Cups for you with this person. You do have a lot of cards indicating like marriage, soulmate, partnership. Like, I always feel the need to put a disclaimer, like I'm not here to tell you, all your wishes and dreams are coming true. But I mean, generally speaking, when you look at what these cards are, I think a lot of tarot readers would look at that and be like, damn, like that looks really good for you, Scorpio. So maybe not much of those cards have to do with your career, though I think they do because it's showing up in your career spread. Either way, love and romance is looking kind of solid. And I do sort of want to say, I don't know why, this doesn't feel brand new. I think maybe it's again, I'm sort of being called to say someone from the past, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. Love is looking good for you in the coming months, but I do want to say it works hand in hand with the spiritual gift and the spiritual development, the spiritual awakening. It's like one comes in with the other. So again, maybe this person you meet is very in tune with spirituality. Maybe they're a tarot reader. Maybe they do Reiki sessions, or do you know what I mean? There's something about the two go together, and then boy, do you guys hit it off, right? Male or female, right? Gender doesn't matter so much, but I'm getting like you crave them. You crave their attention and vice versa. Yeah, and it could be a Gemini as well. Really beautiful. So then you have Three of Cups, literally shown as a bride and a groom, just putting it out there, right? Again, don't mean to be a hype man, but the cards are what the cards are, right? All right, cool. And then you have the Four of Hazards. So yeah, again, I'm being called to say that idea about marketing. It could be this becomes a client of yours or a vendor you're working with, somebody who's overseeing the designs or the illustrations or the drawings that you're doing, Scorpio. This may be someone who ends up kind of extending their cup to you, like romantically or flirtatiously, but they're also impacting your cup in terms of like your money flow, your bank account. Yeah, so this could be someone you work with. Maybe you're doing some sort of visual, like even like interior design and on like furniture, or again, something about the medical profession or medical industry is here. Oh, some of you might be making those cute little, I shouldn't say cute little, but those like the masks, right? The quarantine masks. Some of you may be at home like sewing them. So again, even though you're not a nurse, you're essentially helping out someone in the medical field or helping to, again, preserve like essentially our health, our spiritual energy in a sense. Yeah, there is some message here about like the quarantine thing, and yeah, which is cool, I guess. I was nervous because I don't really like doing anything medical related in my readings, but that means something to someone. So yeah, then you have Three of Cups. Yeah, I'm getting something about the chemistry of the relationship you have, even if it's not romantic. Something about a key collaborator in your life. The chemistry between you guys is magnetic. It's rock solid. I get this message for you all the time, or this metaphor. It's like when you hold the wires together, there's like a zzz, there's like a spark when it's like you guys make magic together. I gotta be honest though, for a lot of you, that does have to do with a relationship. So then the Four of Hazards is the Four of Pentacles. I'm gonna clarify that one because I'm not sure what to do with it. Actually, I'm gonna do the old Rider-Waite deck. Clarify Four of Hazards for Scorpio. Oh, okay. There was something that you were blocking out before, something that you were very, very hesitant. It has to do with this person that you don't get along with, that you may have a grudge, particularly someone in your family, particularly a parent-child dynamic, whichever side you were on. It might be an earth sign, or I don't know, the sign doesn't really matter. It might be an earth sign or an air sign, but anyway, something that you refused to see or acknowledge before, and I do think that is a double entendre of being a seer, like a psychic, a healer or something. Something that you were shutting out and refusing to acknowledge. Something about this relationship, be it business, professional, or romantic, whatever. It does opens your heart chakra to want to heal something in the past or to gain a wider, a broader perspective on something that you couldn't see before. You may have written this person off, oh, interesting, as like a drunk. It could have been someone in your life who growing up, they were not stable. They were very shaky. They even in a sense brought you fear, and you resent them because growing up you were very nervous around them. There's something about a new perspective. There's like an epiphany or an illumination in your mind, again, that either you come to understand their perspective or you simply choose to forgive them so you don't have to carry around that like animosity and baggage towards them anymore. I am being called to say this could have been someone who, and I'm not predicting this, guys, please don't take it that way. This could have been someone who ended up ultimately being their own worst enemy, because it's like they drove themselves to a sickness because of like the intoxication or the essentially like the poison they put in their body, but it more has to do with like, I think, drug abuse or alcohol abuse. And something about they chain themselves to their own mortality, or it's almost like they initiated a death for themselves faster because they couldn't kick the habit. And you were upset because you feel like it robbed you of your childhood, or it robbed you of some sort of innocence, because I think you needed this person in your life and they just weren't there. It feels very much like an absent father type. And so again, whether they're still alive or not, there's so much resentment or disappointment even, right, in your heart. Spirit is really wanting to call your attention to that. And I don't know what to tell you other than this is showing up in your career spread. So something about this has to do with your career, Scorpio. And I mean, I'm only here to tell you so much. I'm doing the best I can with these messages, but this feels like such a deeper message than how much money am I making this month. It's like, Scorpio, it's not about that. It's as I say that, and then you get the Queen of Pentacles. So the Queen of Money, that looks good. But again, that to me is calling to say, this is sometimes the card of the wife or the mother, whether it was male or female, there's someone in your life that you need to do some, like, I think you've been doing soul searching, but it's almost like by appreciating some other relationship in your life, it makes you want to go back and revisit something that for the longest time you were just avoiding or disgusted by. You may have learned some sort of fact or some sort of secret about this person, potentially an alcoholic. I don't know why I said it like that. Someone who abused alcohol or something. You may learn something about them. And again, it may have to do with like a spiritual or ancestral gift, something they passed on to you. You might realize by holding their watch that you feel their spirit around you. And I just keep getting they're asking for your forgiveness. Oh, Scorpio. I'm getting all emotional. The water sign in me is like, hold back the tears. Don't cry on YouTube. It's really beautiful though. Yeah, Temperance. It could be a Sagittarius you're dealing with. Again, your divine angels, your divine guidance, your ancestors, the universe, God, they're trying to get you to see something that you were hell-bent on not seeing, or just completely refusing to acknowledge this person. I'm almost getting a desperation from them that they want so badly your forgiveness. They feel ashamed with how they dealt with you. They feel such a sense of shame or remorse that they weren't there for you when you needed them most. Even if this didn't happen during your childhood, I am getting very much parent-child vibes from this, but even if you are a full-fledged adult, Scorpio, and feel free to swap the energies too. This could absolutely be your story with someone else. This could even be like a romantic reading. I just keep wanting to underscore though, this has something to do with your work. Your Nine of Cups, your long-term career has something to do with helping people realize their dreams and their wishes, helping other people to manifest their Nine of Cups. But it's almost like in order for you to achieve yours, you have to go back and sort of, I heard make up for lost time, but essentially, yeah. There's a cup that needs you to go back and repair, because it's almost like this appears to be fine and good on the surface, but it's almost like if you were to zoom in on this cup, you would see that there's a crack in it and it's been leaking. There's something about it was flawed. There was a flawed construction here, a misinterpretation of the idea of performing on social media and things not being exactly what they seem. Interesting. This might be the person you hold resentment for. You may look at them and be like, they're fine. Like, they're so happy without me. And again, kind of there's a little bit of aggression and anger towards this person. It's almost like if you were to actually look and see what's in their cup, it's empty. Like, they're alone. They don't love themselves. They have a lot of self-worth issues because of something that transpired with you. Maybe this all happened with a coworker, right? The way I said zoom in, something about that was a message for my photographers out there. Anyone who works with a lens or a microscope for that matter, something about chemists in a lab. I don't know why that's coming up, but again, the zooming in a lens of photography, cinematography, filmmaking, fill in the blank, right? If you were to zoom in on this, Sherlock Holmes, my Sherlock Holmes of the Zodiac, you Scorpios, it's not as great as this person is wanting you to believe it is. And so there is maybe on one or both of your parts a sense of ego, because you guys both know that something transpired between you guys where you both were really upset. You were both felt abandoned. You both felt, and I'm sure it's different degrees for each of you, because I definitely sense, Scorpio, that you were like, they were in the wrong. Like, I did nothing wrong. I was there for them and they weren't there for me. I feel it. It's heaviness. But again, I'm being called to say you don't even realize it. By holding on to this negative, dark energy, boy, is it impacting your ability to make money. It's affecting your money flow. It's like the assets are frozen. Something about the escape from the Five of Pentacles, which is a really hard card in terms of finances. It's about going into that church and seeking salvation, seeking shelter from the storm, essentially with God, with spirit, with universe, communicating, right? Radio, television, something about the entertainment industry, video, music, television, MTV, I don't know. There's something to that. Some of you may work in like radio or something about like the entertainment industry. But anyway, it does have to, and maybe there's an awakening about that when you start talking to God or opening yourself up to the universe's guidance. Because it's almost like you're the one hanging yourself there by a thread. There's something that needs to be reconciled so that you can truly become the highest version of yourself, Scorpio. It's like you're in hangman mode. Again, that chrysalis to the butterfly. What follows the hanged man is the death card, which is you, Scorpio, right? You and your highest vibration. It's almost like you're selling yourself short. You're resisting change and transformation that is so desperately trying to come in. And I am being called to say the idea of being the death card is more significant than you even know. Maybe some of you are tarot readers. Maybe it has to do with helping channel spirits. If you believe in that, right? I'm not here to push anything on you, but anyway, let's wrap this up with an oracle card. Some of you have a Pisces that want, a Pisces or a Cancer that really wants to talk to you. Or again, an earth sign. All right, Scorpio, this is the heaviest reading I've done in a long time, so I hope it means something to someone. It's beautiful. Beautiful energy. Anna, grandmother of Jesus, seeding the light, lay foundations, divine plan. That is the oracle card that wanted to come out. So maybe that name means something to someone. Again, ancestral type spiritual gifts is what I'm being called to say here. Interesting. All right, and let's throw some of these on for those who are, I always say for those who are in like a crisis of what the hell am I supposed to do with my life? We'll see if any of this gives you an indicator. We'll take a couple cards for Scorpio. That shot right out. That wanted to be seen. A couple more cards for Scorpio. Whoa, too many, but we'll take a few. Trust. Trust your feelings and dreams to guide your career path. Again, that crystal ball. Some of you are gypsies. Some of you are like seers. Strength. Everything you've experienced in your life has made you strong and courageous. Shout out to the Leo squad there. Oracle cards. You are able to discern answers and guidance for yourself and others. And let's see the one that shot out. What was this? Practice. Polish your skills by practicing regularly. Yeah, some of you just need to polish the skill or fine tune it, because you're going to recognize you're sitting on like a powerhouse of energy. A powerhouse in terms of the career that you're maybe toying with busting into. It's like you've barely scratched the surface. Like this is, again, it's like an electric gift. It could take off. It could be like a chemical explosion in a positive way. You just haven't spent enough time with your gift to develop it, to really hone in on it. So practice makes perfect. Again, musicians. I'm being called to say musicians. And we said that earlier, right? All right, guys, that's what I got for you. Holy cannoli, Scorpio. Please do like, share, subscribe. Let me know in the comments down below if any of this resonates. I will see you very soon for more tarot. Bye.